Hi, I'm Janet. After years of trying to figure out the film industry, making some gains, only to see them dwindling away, I finally got my shit together and I made $85,000 my first year in the film industry in Los Angeles. Creating a career in film does not need to be a struggle. You can start in your city. I want to teach you my process and teach you how to do it. You'll see that you really can live that extraordinary film lifestyle that only the film industry can provide. Let's go.
Hello everyone, this is Omar from Friends in Film. I've worked on Netflix, I've worked on MTV, I've worked on PBS, I've worked for Panda Express, and the point of this podcast is to give you some inspiration, to give you some motivation, and to help you to feed your dream, to realize that it's very possible to live a life acting forever, for as long as you live. If that's what you came here to do, then you can do it. There's a reason you have that dream. There's a reason why you see yourself on the big screen as the lead actor. There's a reason for that. Are you listening to those reasons? Are you listening to those feelings inside of you? Are you letting yourself see that vision? 5 years ago, I'm stuck in a retail job, and I had that internal conflict, like why am I not living my dream? Why isn't that happening? Or maybe how can I make this happen? Maybe you have that dream, but you just don't know how to realize it. You're capable of it. That these desires are there for a purpose, but maybe you just don't know how to take the first step. So what we're all about here at Friends in Film is getting over these limitations, getting over the mental hurdles, the negative feelings, because this is all very important if you want to be successful in anything in life, especially the film industry. You're gonna have to, it's a skill to learn how to process emotion. It's a skill to learn how to generate good emotions. And it's a skill to have mastery over your thoughts. Okay? And when you start to practice this, then everything else falls into place. Okay? That's the reason why we're so into self-development and mindset work within Friends in Film, because that's the key that a lot of people are lacking to unlock the door to their dreams. If you're an actor and you've been trying so hard to make it, to get your big break, maybe you've acted a couple times and you're on that grind of doing auditions, working a survival job, couch surfing. Maybe you moved to LA with no connections or without any experience to make that dream happen. I know that it's a struggle. I know people like that. I'm friends with some people like that. And a lot of them, a lot of people aren't doing the right things to get there, to get to where they want to be. Or, maybe they think, we think this is the way to do it. You just have to work a survival job and audition. And then once you get the one acting gig, then that's it, that's short-sighted thinking. That's trying to build an empire when you have no foundation. When you're able to put yourself in a financially stable position, and you do that by working on a film set, then everything else falls into place. And that's what we teach. We teach you to get production assistant jobs, these entry-level positions on film sets. You're making your money that way. A typical production assistant rate is $210 for 12 hours, 1 day on set. And it varies, lower budget stuff. It could be $100 On higher budget stuff, it could be up to $300. But typically like 200, 210, 250. That's what usually I make in a day as a production assistant, PAing. And when you're on set as a production assistant, you're able to flow between departments. So this is how we build connections. Once we start getting these PA jobs and you're on set and you're applying our get it factor, you show up knowing what to do, and you prove that you're one of the good ones to people by being cool to work with, then that's when, somebody that's, a director who's also PAing with you, they could be shooting their passion project next month. And you're there like talking about, oh yeah, like I acted on this thing last week or whatever. Or like, I just recorded this self-tape. All of a sudden your new friend on set is like, oh, hey, like I'm directing this thing next week. We could totally use you. You want to come? Like, this is the way it works. This is the way that, that things happen, that the momentum starts to build. I mean, Janet talks about they'll be working a commercial and then the PA gets pulled in to be an actor, to be an extra, things like that. And then so they make their rate as a production assistant and then they make their rate as an actor. And, stuff like that happens all the time. You just get pulled into it and, your vibe will attract where you need to go. You'll make your own good luck by doing this. You put yourself in a position to succeed. And then contrast that to working a survival job and only going to auditions. Like in your survival job, you're not around the people that are going to hire you for film set work, for acting gigs, for the industry. When you put yourself in the environment where you meet people that will further your career into the direction you want to go, then that's what happens. That won't happen working a retail job, or it'll be really hard. Working at an ice cream shop. And then it's a good feeling too, making money in the film industry. Like honestly, like the toughest day on set is better than being stuck in an office under fluorescent lights. And, I used to work in IT, a 9-to-5 job, and that's what it was like, not interacting with anybody and just kind of stuck in my own little cubicle. And it's important to remind myself that. I was actually talking to my actor friend, and he moved from Colorado to Los Angeles, and he's moving fast. Like he knows what to do. He was telling me that he has to hold on to gratitude. That gratitude is very powerful. Reminding himself when he used to work a 9-to-5, he used to work from home in his mom's basement. He was doing all these things that weren't really part of his vision. He was like working, he had his own real estate business, and like all these things that weren't aligned with his passion, which is acting. And now he's making friends with celebrities, he's probably going to be, actually, I don't know how much I can say. He's working on a big commercial with 2 giant celebrities, and who knows, maybe they'll all make TikToks together, like that's the way it happens. Now that you're around those people, now that you're around the crowd that you actually want to be in, then all the dots start to connect. And if you're wondering, like, how do you get the PA jobs? How do you get on your first 20 shoots? We teach you that inside of our Friends in Film program. Maybe you're listening to this and I just described what's going on in your life. Maybe you're working a survival job and maybe you're struggling to get acting gigs. That's a difficult struggle. Like it's difficult. It's hard. I know how that is. And either way, to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to struggle some amount. A better struggle, a more beneficial and fruitful struggle, is making $200 a day on a film set, working these 12-hour days and making the connections, making that your purpose instead of instead of your purpose being survival, now your purpose is to just get better at this thing that you love. Doesn't that sound amazing? Doesn't it sound better to have your purpose be building roots within this creative community and to build and create your reputation as an actor, a professional actor? When you PA, you're making connections with people that are going to hire you in the future. You know, that's a beneficial, that's where you should be spending your time instead of, you know, like just whatever it is, whatever survival job. I keep going back to like coffee shops and retail. Or maybe like you're a corporate person and you hate that corporate grind or it's boring. Then sometimes you just got to go for it. My friend that I was talking about earlier, his name is Steven. Like Steven, he had to make a change. He had to make the decision to quit all of his plan Bs, all of the stuff that he was caught up in that wasn't part of his vision. And he made the decision to actually take the steps towards being an actor. Like if you really want to make it, you have to make the decision. Don't put a time limit on yourself. You know, just make the decision like, I'm going to be an actor. Like there's nothing else that I want to do, you know? And that you operate from a different position when you have that in your mindset versus I'm going to give myself 5 years to be an actor. If it doesn't work out, then I'll take the safe corporate job. You know, like which one's going to give you the results that you want, that you really want? It's different and it's powerful. So then if you're caught up in the traditional way, the slow way with the survival job and the audition grind, and then how do you create that transition? A lot of it is emotional and mental mastery. Okay. You have to start changing the beliefs about yourself. And that's what I had to do. When I was working the retail job, I felt so bored folding clothes all day. Like I needed something to keep me engaged. And I started doing mental exercises. I would do affirmations for hours while folding clothes, like to give my mind something to do. And I wanted to do something beneficial that's going to grow me. So I would say things like I'm so happy and grateful. You know, I would just say that over and over again in my mind. I would just go through gratitude sessions while I'm at work, while I'm just mindlessly folding clothes, you know? And that's what you got to do. At the same time, the reason why I chose beneficial affirmations to work out my mind, that it was because I was caught up in a depressed state of life. I was the opposite. I had self-hatred. I would say nasty things to myself in my mind. And then I discovered the power of our mind, the power of our thoughts, the power of our feelings, and what that does to create the reality around us. And I was like, oh, dang, like I want to create a better reality. I didn't realize I had this much control over myself. I didn't realize that the reason I'm feeling so bad is because I tell myself I hate myself all day. You know what I mean? It's like, it's stupid like that. And then to be happy, just you have to be grateful for where you're at today. Be grateful that you have a job that's paying your bills, that's allowing you to pursue your dream. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you're taking action towards your dreams, you're taking action towards what you really want to do. So be grateful for that. That's how we change our life. Literally, the power of gratitude. When you feel grateful, you cannot feel stress. When you feel grateful, you cannot feel fear. If you've ever read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, actually, let me tell you my experience. I read this book and it talks about how do you feel when you achieve your goals, whatever it is, when you make that first $1 million. What does that moment feel like? And I sat in a deep meditation trying to visualize that moment for myself. And then it just like, it clicked. And it was just like, oh, I feel grateful. I feel gratitude. I'm so grateful I made this $1 million. And You know, when you realize that for yourself, how does it feel to be getting those paid principal roles, acting in fun things? Like, how does that feel? How does that feel making it? How does it feel to be working as an assistant on a film set, building that for yourself? How does that feel? You know, that's the season I'm in now. I'm laying my foundation down for a healthy career. You know, I've been doing this for about a year and a half, and it's really cool. Like, it is a struggle. Like, I'm struggling with this. It's a challenge. It's not easy, but I know what to do, and I'm confident that what I'm doing is going to work. So it's different. I'm operating from that foundation of faith and trust and confidence because of the mental work that I've been doing, because of what Janet has been teaching me, because of the Friends in Film methods and principles and mindsets. I understand that this particular struggle is temporary, and it's an investment to get to where I want to be in the future, getting the highest paying jobs, being able to choose what I work on, and being able to like do whatever I want in my free time. You know what I'm talking about? Let's learn how to create and cultivate a beautiful internal world, a beautiful internal state. You can have mastery over your mindset by thinking positive thoughts, by processing negative thoughts and negative feelings. That's a really big, important thing that we need to learn, that not a lot of people have. But it's definitely a skill you can learn. It's definitely something that we tell you to practice. You know, like Janet says everything is 50-50. There's 50 good, 50 bad emotions. I like to think of it like there are waves, you know? It pushes and it pulls, it goes up and it's down, it ebbs and it flows. So sometimes there are waves of joy, and sometimes there are waves of sorrow. That's just the way life is. The trick that we teach you how to do is to ride those waves in the direction to where you want to go, to where you want to end up, instead of just reacting and letting it take you wherever, you know, going with the flow in a negative sense. Instead of that, you're going with the flow, but you have the direction, you know, you have a compass to take you to where you want to go while you're on the flow, you know? If you're anything like me, you know, maybe you're a creative person, you got a free spirit, and you just want to live the life of your dreams. You just want to do what you want to do and not be held back by anything. That's possible. You can do it. I'm doing it. It's literally a habit that we create, being able to ride waves of joy and waves of sorrow. That's processing negative emotion. Knowing what to do in those difficult seasons, you know, maybe you make a playlist where, like, whenever, you know, make a playlist of songs where whenever that song plays, it just like gets you dancing, or it gets you smiling, or it reminds you of like a really like beautiful moment. You know, have that in your back pocket the next time you feel a little down. Or like taking account of the people that whenever you talk to them, you just feel better afterwards. You know, maybe you have to reach out to those people, you know, or be around those people more, you know, cultivate your life so that so that your life generates the good feelings. We get good at generating good feelings, because when you operate from that, when you operate from the good feelings, from the confidence, from the love, then the moves you make are different and more powerful, instead of like making a move from the suffering state. It's the mental and emotional mastery. When we feel a negative emotion, it's important to process it. You know, you have to learn about yourself. The feelings are the language of the body. So it's important to tune in and process what your body's telling you. You know, whether it's sadness, hatred, depression, whatever. And then, but the thing is not to make it part of your identity. It's just a wave. It It passes and then it goes away. It's their vibrations in our body. Like they pass and then they pass. They enter and they leave, like a breath. So when you realize that, it's like a liberation in your mind. It's a liberation in your heart. You don't have to be bound by a negative identity. Once you start, and this is what I did personally, I started identifying with gratitude, and that's put me on a very strong trajectory. I'm Omar the Grateful. Like I'm grateful to be alive. And that's where I operate from. I'm grateful to be alive. I've had days on set where everyone around me is in a sour mood, and I'm just there like happy, not letting anybody get to me, because I'm so freaking stoked to be on a film set making TV magic, making money, and you know what I mean? I'm not freaking stuck under fluorescent lights making clothes. Like, what the heck? This is amazing. How can you not be grateful? And then my vibe is so powerful that it got other people in a good mood. You feel what I'm saying? This is the power that we give you, that we teach you, that we train you how to wield. And like one time I was working on a Netflix show, and the one of the guys was complaining or whatever, and I'm like, dang dude, I'm just grateful to be alive. Like, this is cool. You know, I'm not being annoying. We're just chatting and stuff. And I'm just like feeling good and expressing that in a cool way. You know, there's a tasteful way to do it. And like the next day, this same dude that was complaining, he's like, bro, like, isn't this amazing? I could do this all day. Like, we're here shooting by the water. The weather's amazing, bro. We got this beautiful view. Like, this is awesome. And I'm like, heck yeah. You know what I mean? That's different. You know, where do you want to operate from? You have the power to choose that. And life gets better when that happens, when you operate with a grateful mindset. This is how we process and transmute the negative into positive, is by gratitude. Or it's one of the ways. I don't want to say it's the only way. It's the way that's worked for me. And now it's a little tool belt for you. It's a little weapon in your arsenal whenever the negative emotions attack. You can fight back. You can turn it into gold. So the way to get acting gigs is to be on sets, to be working as a production assistant. And yeah, that's the way. That's the fast track way to do it. Instead of grinding with a survival job and doing auditions, make production assistant work your survival job. You'll make more money, and you'll make the connections, which is what you need in order to build a healthy career in the film industry. You need connections. You need to be good at making connections. And it's easy. It's easier than you think. It's maybe you've never done anything like that. It'll be hard for a little bit. It'll be a challenge, but we teach you how to operate with that confidence. We teach you the skills on how to make that happen, how to build a network. And it's so much easier than maybe you think. It's so much easier than you realize. And it's like a snowball. Once you get it started, it just keeps growing and it grows itself. The career, the networking, the money, the vision. You know, like outside of the industry, I never thought I'd be interacting with celebrities. I don't know, right? I didn't know how that would be. I was working the MTV Movie Awards, and like it was crazy. Like Jack Black walks by, like Jennifer Lopez, Vanessa Hudgens. I'm just like, oh dang, okay, like they're just regular people, you know. Now they're just regular people now. They're not these characters on the screen. It's like, oh dang, like. And then Sway Lee from Race Remmer, he jumped in a picture with us. That was funny. It's crazy, and I never didn't think it'd be like this, but here it is. I could never have conceptualized this outside of the industry. And when you start to get closer to your vision, you'll start to live and experience these things where it's like, oh dang, I didn't realize it'd be like this. This is better than I expected. You know? All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Actors, you can do this. We believe in you. There's a way to do it. We have a strategy that works. It's called the Friends in Film Method. It's the A-list mastermind. And, you know, like I'm sure you could do it, but without it, it might take you 10 years, but you'll do it. You know, I was outside of the film industry a year and a half ago, and now I'm making all of my money in the entertainment industry. So it works, and I'm building my career the way I want to. And you can too. We teach you how to have that freedom, how to have that creative power, and it's cool. Like, you don't have to struggle like that survival audition grind anymore. You don't have to do that anymore. Instead of hoping that your self-tape out of thousands gets picked, you only have 2 minutes to make an impression on somebody. Get to know that somebody on set working 12-hour days. You become fast friends. Okay? This is the way to do it.
Thanks for listening today. And if you have a moment, could you please leave me a review? I would love that. And make sure you head over to friendsandfilm.com/join and sign up for my free mini course on what you need to know to find opportunities and start making film and acting work come to you. I'll see you next week.